issue an edict to destroy them, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver into the royal treasury."
The king asked no questions. He did not investigate. Simply, he took his royal ring, and with its seal, he signed the death sentence. A decree was sent to every province, quickly, sealed with the king's authority. Messengers rode throughout the empire. The orders were clear. On the 13th day of the month of Adar, all Jews, young and old, men and women, will be exterminated. The fate of an entire people had been sealed. When Mordecai heard the decree, he tore his clothes, covered himself in sackcloth and ashes, and went out into the streets of Susa, crying out loudly. From every city and province, the weeping of the Jews rose to the heavens. But in the palace, Esther knew nothing until her maids saw Mordecai in the streets and sent her a message.
"Queen Esther, your cousin Mordecai is at the palace gate, dressed in mourning. He cries and weeps without ceasing."
Esther sent one of her servants to ask him what was happening. Mordecai responded with a message.
"The people are condemned. The king has signed their extermination. Esther, you must go before the king and plead for your people."
Esther's heart pounded, because what Mordecai was asking was impossible.
Everyone knows that no one can enter the king's presence without being summoned. Whoever does so will die, unless the king extends his golden scepter. And I have not been called before the king in 30 days.
Mordecai sent one final message, one that shook Esther's soul.
"Do not think that you will escape because you are in the palace. If you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. And who knows if for such a time as this, you were brought to the kingdom."
Esther fell silent. Those words pierced her heart. It was true. She had been brought to the palace. She had found favor with the king. She had been crowned queen. But perhaps not by chance.
Go and gather all the Jews of Susa. Fast for me for 3 days and 3 nights. I and my maids will do the same. And then I will go into the king's presence, even though I have not been summoned. And if I perish, I perish.
The decision had been made. Esther was ready. Now, she was heading to face her destiny. 3 days had passed. 3 days of fasting. 3 days of prayer. 3 days where Esther prepared her heart and said goodbye to her life. Because now, she was walking toward death. The great throne room was illuminated with golden lamps. King Ahasuerus sat on his throne of ivory and silver. The guards watched every detail. No one could enter without being summoned. No one could approach the king without permission. The punishment was death. And then, the doors of the hall opened. Esther stepped forward with slow steps. Each step was a sentence. The courtiers watched in horror, because they knew what happened to those who defied the law. The king looked up and saw her, radiant, dressed in her royal robe, beautiful, but with a face marked by fasting. For a moment, the silence felt eternal. Esther did not look away. She did not tremble. And in that moment, the fate of an entire people hung on a single gesture, the golden scepter, or the sentence of death. The king looked at Esther, and something in him was moved. Then, he extended his golden scepter. The entire room exhaled. Esther would live.
What troubles you, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom. It will be given to you.
If I have found favor in your sight, I come to invite you to a banquet.